Hey guys, I am Bianca. Thank you guys for joining us for another fun craft break. Today we will be using Mod Podge and folk art home decor chalk to create a quick, fun, and easy Valentine's Day craft. For this project, you will need 4 picture frames with an open side. So the picture frame that we will be using today actually has a heart. But if you have anything else at home that is similar, you can definitely use that for this project. You can find this frame on plaidonline.com if you would like to copy my project exactly. So you're going to need 5 of those actually. You're actually going to need 5 of these. You're also going to need your Mod Podge. Today we will be using the matte formula. And like I said, we will also be using our folk art home decor chalk paint. For this project, I will be using Imperial and Sunset Rose. I thought that these would be 2 really fun Valentine's colors for our project. You are also going to need some paint brushes and some hot glue. You will need gift paper, or you can even use a napkin. I would suggest, if you do want to make this Valentine's theme, that you pick up a tissue paper that has a Valentine pattern on it. And the last thing you will need for this project is clear acetate paper. So once you have gathered all of those things, you can begin your project, and with all of those, we will be making a really cool light box. I'll bring over my finished example before we get started just so you can see what we will be crafting. So this is the box that we will be making today. And when you turn off all the lights, it lights up the room, and through the top, it even shoots a heart shape towards the top of your ceiling. So this is what we will be creating today. Very simple, easy as always. Like I always say, I like to create crafts for people who think they cannot craft. So this is a very simple project that I think anyone can do. And it's really fun for Valentine's Day. So we will go ahead and we will get started. The first step for this project is to grab one of your picture frames. And like I said, you will need 5 of these to complete this project. And again, you can find this frame on plaidonline.com. If you have something similar to this, you can definitely use that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to flip the frame over, and I'm going to bend back the clips that hold our picture in place. So we'll go ahead and we'll get those out of the way. Then we're going to flip this back over, and we're going to go ahead and we will paint it with our chalk paint. And again, for this project, I am using the Imperial color. All right. So we're going to go ahead and paint the front of our frame with our Imperial color. So we'll base it with our red, and then we'll go back over it with our pink color to give it a textured and weathered look. Right. So we're just going to paint this. This doesn't really take any time at all. Should be able to get this part done in less than 3 minutes. All right. If you guys are watching from other states, we would love to hear where you are. We are in Atlanta, and it is finally warming up just a little bit. So I am very happy about that. And as always, if you are working on any projects, we would love to hear what you are working on, especially if it is a Valentine's craft.
Bianca, we have a viewer from Scotland today.
Wow. I don't think I've heard that one before.
Yeah, welcome.
Welcome. We are glad to have you. Alrighty. So we have our first coat on. I'm going to go ahead and paint the edges of our frame. You will see these in the final product, so you do want to make sure that you are painting the edges, just so that the project looks nice and finished. And then of course, if needed, you can go back over it and add a second or third coat, but you should be fine with just 2 coats. If you have caught me on a craft break before then, you probably remember me saying that this is my favorite paint. I really love the home decor chalk paint. It's really easy to use. It doesn't require a lot of prep. This is really good on furniture. Dries quickly and it looks great. I am a farmhouse girl, so when you walk into my house, it looks like you just walked into a horse ranch. And a lot of things in my home are painted with this exact paint. All right. So we have all of our sides painted, and we have the front of our frame painted. I'm going to go ahead and blow dry this for just a second. All right, just a few more seconds, and then we are going to go back over this with our second chalk paint. All right, so we're gonna go back over this with our sunset rose. This is a really pretty color. It's almost like a dusty pink. All right, so I already had that poured out. I'm gonna go ahead and grab another paintbrush. And I'm making sure not to load my paintbrush too much because we don't want to cover up our red color here. We just kind of want to go over it and feather this color to make it look a little weathered. So we're just gonna lightly go over it. This step is optional. You can definitely design your frames however you would like to at home. Again, like I said, I just really like rustic decor, so this is what I chose to go with for my own design. And of course, once you finish one frame, you want to go ahead and you want to repeat this for the remaining 4 frames that you have. So we'll finish this one together, but I do already have our other ones painted, dried, and ready to go. And after this, we will begin to assemble our light box.
Bianca, we have a comment from Angie that I wanted to read.
Okay.
She said, plaid chalk paint is a great paint. I upcycled a trunk and she purchased it at a thrift store and painted it with home decor chalk, and it turned out great.
I love this paint. And I love using this paint for furniture that I find at thrift stores. I love giving old pieces of furniture new life with this paint. I actually recently got a really nice vanity from Goodwill, and I painted it with the home decor chalk paint. I'm not done all the way yet, but it looks really great so far. And again, like I said, with this paint, you really don't have to do a lot of prep work with the surface that you are working on, and I really love that. All right, so we'll do just a little bit more. If you do want to go for the look that I am creating here, you will probably have to go back over the coat that we just did with the second coat. But we'll do the first one here together. Like I said, I'll pull out my finished examples that I have over here to the right of me. So that is the first coat of our sunset rose. I'm gonna go ahead and set this off to the side and pull out our finished ones. And when you are done, they should look something like this. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next step, and that is assembling your light box. So let's set these off to the side, and we'll start with just two. All right. And so to assemble your box, you're going to need some hot glue. So we will start with putting two frames together, and you're going to assemble them like this. So you want the two frames to meet at the edges together. So I'm going to go ahead and add some hot glue here. And we will go ahead and put it together.
Doesn't take very long to adhere.
Does not at all. And when you're assembling your box, you want to make sure that you are setting it down, because what you don't want to do is assemble it in the air, and then when you set it down, you realize that the bottoms are not even, and then it's kind of lopsided. So make sure you're setting it down and pressing it down into the table just to make sure that the bottoms are even and are at the same height. The frames are at the same height as each other. All right. So we will go ahead and we will connect our third frame. So same thing. We are meeting at the edges of these frames. And then we are going to repeat this same step with our last frame. Like Steven said, this dries almost instantly. So this part is really, really quick to do. All right, so we're gonna grab our last frame. And with this one, since it is the last side, we are going to add glue to two sides. So here, and then we'll go ahead and add more over here.
Kristen asks, is there a reason that the inside wasn't painted?
Yes, that's a great question. So with this project, once it is all done, you will not see the inside. So I think it's best, not to waste your paint if you don't have to. You definitely can paint the inside, but it is not necessary. And you'll see why in just a second here. All right, so we have our box assembled. I will go ahead and twirl it around so you can see it. So we'll set this off to the side and we will begin on the next step for this project. All right, so you are going to grab your Mod Podge. You are going to grab some tissue paper and you are also going to grab your acetate. So for this step, what you want to do is cut your tissue paper to the size of one of the windows in your cube. So just try to match it up, line it up. I would say cut a piece that is just a little bit bigger than the actual window itself, just for some wiggle room. And again, if you didn't catch what I said earlier, if you do not have gift tissue, which is actually what I'm using right now, you can use napkins for this project as well. If you decide to use napkins instead of gift tissue, just make sure that you are removing the ply from the back of your napkins before continuing on with the Mod Podge. That is a very easy step to forget when you are using napkins and Mod Podge for any project. So make sure that you are removing the backing from the napkins if you do not use gift tissue. So we are going to go ahead and we are going to cut this acetate to the size of the tissue that we just cut out. So let's go ahead and trim it up. And we'll set the excess off to the side. All right. And then we are going to use our Mod Podge to attach this and this together. So these will be the clear windows for our light box. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab some Mod Podge. Again, I am using the matte formula. And we're going to do a light coat. We don't want to go too heavy because we don't want to oversaturate it and tear our tissue. So we're going to do a light coat of the Mod Podge. Make sure that your brush is totally clean for this because you will be able to see straight through this. And you'll be able to see the tissue. So you want to make sure that you're not getting any dirt or dust or speckles caught into the Mod Podge. So just try to make extra sure that your brush is clean before you do this step. All right. I'm just evening it out here. If we were just doing a regular project with tissue and the clear acetate was not involved, I wouldn't be so, I wouldn't make it such a point to make sure that it was clean and even, but we will be able to see into this. So we want to make sure that it is nice, smooth, and clear. And now I am just using my fingers to slowly lay our tissue down. So take your time with this part. You want to try to not get any wrinkles. You might get a few and that's totally fine, but we want to try to make sure we have as least wrinkles as possible. Alrighty. All right. So that should be good. Uh-oh, we got a little bit of paint on here from our table, but that's okay. All right, so this is what it should look like when you finish. It dries pretty quickly. If you do see some white spots, do not worry. In about 10 or 15 minutes, this will totally dry clear. I'm gonna go ahead and trim this up just a little bit more to match the size of our window. So we'll cut just a little bit more of this off. And then we are going to grab our hot glue one more time, and we're going to put a dot in each corner on the front. And the front is the side with the clear acetate, not on the back with the gift tissue. So I am now going to take this. I'm going to grab our cube again, and I'm just going to lay this down right in front of one of our windows. I'm going to hold it in place. For just a second here. And once you have one side done, you can go ahead and you can repeat this for the remaining 3 sides of your light cube. So let's go ahead and flip this over so that you can see. So this is what it should look like once you finish one side. And again, like I said, you want to go ahead and you want to repeat this for the remaining 3 sides. We will not be adding a clear window to the top of the box, and I will show you why in just a second. So once you have covered all of your hearts with your tissue and your acetate paper, it should look something like this. And the last step for this project is to grab a push light. So you should be able to grab one of these from any dollar store. This one that I have actually has a few different light modes. So it just has regular white light, and then it also has a function where it's like a pulse, or it just changes slowly. And that one is actually kind of fun to me. Let's try, there we go. So this function here actually changes different colors. And you want to set it inside of your light box. And then we're going to set our last frame on top. And the reason that we are not going to cover the top of the box with our acetate and our tissue is because when all of the lights are off, the heart shape will project onto our ceiling. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn the lights off for just a second, just so you guys can kind of see what this looks like. We'll try to get it as dark as possible. We can't turn all the lights off, but we'll try our best. And so like I said, with this push light that I have here, it has a really cool function where the light changes with different colors. So I think that that is just a really, really cool type of light to use for this project. So when you are done, this is what it looks like. You don't necessarily have to glue your top frame on. It actually kind of makes it a little bit easier to be able to reach in and grab your light out whenever you need to. Like if you need to change the batteries or you just want to put in a different type of light. So to glue the top frame on, that is definitely optional. And like I said, when you finish, this is what it should look like. So that is our Valentine's project for today. This is definitely not just a seasonal project. You can do this for all year round, actually. I think that this is a really cute and cool project for a kid's bedroom. You can switch it up, and if you don't want to use frames that have hearts in them, you can use stars and project the star onto the ceiling. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this project today. If you guys do not have any questions, we will see you next week. As always, you can find the paints that we used today and the Mod Podge on plaidonline.com. If you try this project,
I was going to say, speaking of Mod Podge on plaidonline.com, I wanted to remind everybody that on our website we have a 30% off sale for all Mod Podge orders. When you spend $50 or more, you get free U.S. ground shipping, and that sale lasts through the 11th of February. And you just use code Mod Podge at checkout, and it's as simple as that.
cool.
Yeah, so we have that information written down in the description. It's also on our website when you go to the front page, so super easy to find.
Cool. And it is Valentine. So if you have crafters in your life, I feel like that would be a really great gift. I would
think so, too.
definitely appreciate getting some Mod Podge in the mail. So if you try this project at home, use hashtag PlaidCrafts so that we can see it and thumbs up it. And we will see you guys next time, next week at 3 o'clock. Bye, guys.